Okay, today on the Diamond Advisor platform, we're going to look in a little more depth into PCR, Portfolio Correlation Ratio, something we coined, and what is exactly it means, but also how to read it. So I'm going to show you a portfolio I've already pre-made down here, 9 pieces, just a mock portfolio. And I've already pre-run these illustrations on scans up here, but real quickly I'm going to show you that without going to the full simulation, you can just get the PCR ratio by hitting this button. You choose a time period, 3, 5, or 10, say 3 years, and you hit PCR. It'll go out, kick off the simulator, but just grab the front end of the data. It takes about 20 seconds, and I'll hit it there and you'll see it come up. And then the number is displayed right down here along this line with a numeral. And I'll show you how the report displays it now. On this portfolio for a 3-year report, here we go. PCR, the portfolio color ratio, is a ratio of the negative over positive values in a portfolio covariance matrix. The lower ratio implies greater correlation within a portfolio, higher implies lower correlation within a portfolio over that time period you selected. So let's look at this. Is 3 years for that time period. What do I mean by that? When you do a covariance matrix, here's a paper we wrote on it. You can see the matrix goes across, and we're looking for the number of negative relationships between one value and the other, Costco and this. And this is an illustration of a company's pension plan, so 401k. So we're looking for negative occurrences. If we have negative relationships, we know that these parts are working kind of opposite of each other at times. And so we can say everything is not going up together all at the same time or down together all at the same time. It's a measure of non-correlation in the portfolio, which can be a good thing if that's what you're trying to achieve. So going back to the report, we express it with a ratio, number of positive over negative, 42. And you can see when you go to 5-year, the number shifts to 47 on that same portfolio. And if we look at the last 10 years, which picks up the last bear market, you can see the number drops to 21. So still a level of non-correlation, but less than in the last 3 and 5 years. And that's just a useful piece of data we think people can use. One other thing when you're looking at this, the correlation matrix, when you're doing portfolio assessment, if you do it correctly and adjust for correlation, you can see how the risk in the portfolio is shifted by doing the covariance adjustment. The red is after the adjustments are made. And this is an unusual pattern, and it's born of the last 9 years of the zero rate policy. We've kind of distorted some of the parameters, and you can see here we still show that we did do the correlation adjustment and ran a covariance matrix, so we have a true risk plot for the portfolio. If you look at the other 5-year and we roll up, again, on 5-year you can see different patterning, but the shift took place. Normally we're understating risk, but with zero rate policies it's kind of distorted that. So here's 10-year picking up the last bear market, and this is a more normal historical pattern in what we typically see, whereas if you don't do the covariance adjustment, which is the blue, you understate risk, but by adjusting for covariance you can show the portfolio risk is slightly more volatile. Just a strange, fascinating part of having a zero rate policy, which we never thought we'd have for 9 years in a row. Anyhow, when we come back here on the interface, as you can see, portfolio correlation ratio is 0.42 for the 3-year period, which is exactly what we came up with in the chart here, 0.42. And we display it quickly. So you don't even have to kick off the full scanner simulation. You can stay on this page and get a correlation ratio. How you apply it is up to you. If you're trying to find some evidence that the component parts in your portfolio aren't all moving in sync together in every environment, this is a convenient way to kind of confirm or deny that. Sometimes you want correlation if you're in an all equity portfolio, and that's expected to be a 0. And sometimes you're trying to build in some non-correlation. It depends on you and what you're trying to achieve. But this is a measure and a metric to go ahead and give you some information on that. Thanks. I hope this was useful. We'll talk again next time.